Christ, saints. Most High Christ bless everybody.
Most High Christ bless you too.
All right. Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath to you too.
All right. I hope everybody is in the spirit. All right. In the spirit on the Lord's day. So all praises unto the Most High, giving us spirit to come here, fellowship, keep His commandments, find what His will is. So, like I say, all praises unto the Father for that. Okay, we're going to continue on in our Sirach series, chapter 4. But before we get started, open up the book to Acts, the 10th chapter. So you need Acts 10. And hold that. And then let's go to St. John 15. St. John 15, and I'll start at verse 12. And my spirit was moved earlier when inside of the group, after everybody spoke to everybody early this morning and told you to send out those invites. And this is the reason why. It's a part of our profession and vocation and calling, and you should be doing that. And you should be testifying and witnessing about the Messiah Christ, all right? So this is my commandment, that you love one another, okay? As I have loved you. So how did Christ love us? Go to the book of Ephesians. I thought that was your Bible. All right. Ephesians chapter 5. And 25, it says, Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. So he put everything into his doing, kind of like what we were talking about earlier this week, maybe on Tuesday we was here. We were quoting like how getting the love of the congregation and how the sacrifices that we are to make, we to consider the assembly, we to consider one another, because our lifestyle is an example. The life that you live, can you teach that? Would you want somebody to mirror and be a replica of what you're doing? So if something that you're doing is off or it's not right, so you to give yourself, you to give in. And it's like, okay, I'm not to do that. I'm going to present myself a living sacrifice. So Christ loved the Israelites so much, ones that he knew, ones that he didn't know. The evidence of there's ones that he didn't know, but would be reached out by the disciples, because in the 17th chapter of St. John, when he was praying unto the Father, he was praying unto the Most High on behalf of those that would believe through them, through their teachings. Okay? So he went all out and he gave himself. He wouldn't want to be a poor example in no shape, form, or fashion, and nothing that he do, nothing that he would do, nothing that he would say, not even how he would make someone feel. He wouldn't even want that to be a case. So he really, really had love for the Most High and what he was doing, because he understood that his behavior would resonate and settle with whomever hear or see him. And if it's wrong, then now he have set someone on the course of destruction, because people tend to look and seek for some form of excuse. You understand? Shalom Sabah. People tend to seek some form of excuse. And if they see you with some bad actions, well, you just gave them a reason to solidify on why they do what they do. But we can't give that to them. We have to give ourselves over into the commandments of the Most High, the statutes of the Most High, the precepts of the Most High, that's going to stir and keep us in the right direction. We're going to give ourselves for that, for the people's sake. Okay? Because Christ did that for Israel. Now you got to do that for your people that you are around. Now check this out. There's more in Ephesians 5. Now this is verse 26. It says that he might sanctify. Okay, now we know that that's separation. He's going to separate them from what they're doing. His example is going to be so strong and so powerful that they're going to learn from it. They're going to compare it to what they do, even without him convicting them. Without him doing what, Luchavon? He don't need to convict them. All he needs to do is show up and show out. Show up and show out mean apply the scriptures. That's all. Stop trying to convict and condemn and go after one another. Just apply the scriptures. And your example is a teaching tool within itself. That person is going to see that and they're going to say, oh, I need to make my life like that. I need to do that. But then if you offend them in something in word or deed, guess what? You give Satan ammunition to say, look at how he did to you. Look at what she said to you. Look at how, instead of focusing on the spiritual aspect of the application that they saw on display. Guys, you got to be smart. You got to be on this, man. You got to be on this. All right? Everybody tracking so far? All right. So now he wanted to sanctify them. All right? And cleanse it. So he wanted to make sure they was clean with the washing of water by the word. I'm not saying you can't say nothing to them, but you're not supposed to be abrasive or abusive. That's not the spirit right there. Nobody wants to be spoken to or dealt with rudely. Everybody understand that? Right. Even they did something wrong. Still, no rudeness. If you can't control yourself, don't say nothing. If you can't control yourself, do what?
Don't say nothing.
If you're gonna be rude and disrespectful, and your countenance, you can feel it in your spirit, you gotta ask to be excused. Say, give me a moment. And then get out of there. Do what?
Get out of there.
Get the heck out of there. Because they looking at you. They seeing you. They looking at you. They're going to see your countenance. They're going to see your sway, your body language. They're going to see all of that. Don't show them the fight. Don't show them what?
Fight.
Don't show them the fight, man. Because the fight represents you. But don't just show them your back. It's a sign of disrespect. When I say show them your back, you walk off and didn't say nothing. Nah, you wouldn't like it if they did you like that. So what you have to do is ask to be excused. Say, just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. They're gonna know, okay, all right, he or she is they dealing with something. They're a little frustrated. And they ask for that. So they're gonna give that to you because they don't want you to erupt and disrespect them and yell at them. They don't want you to do that. So they should just bag off and give you that moment to where you can come back sensible, respectfully, settled, and grounded. You had an opportunity to get fight your fight. Not so much fight them, but fight your fight. You had an opportunity to fight your fight. Give them that. So your perfect example is supposed to cleanse them. You ain't supposed to make matters worse. If what you doing is making matters worse, you are wrong. It don't care. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter who you are. You made it worse. And if you're somebody, then you're supposed to greatly humble yourself. The Bible says the greater you are, the more humble you're supposed to have the ability to continue to humble yourself to the satisfaction of that person, to where that person, they ain't agitated, going off, they not tripping, none of those things. Like, okay, I'm finna make it right. All right? Great people do that. Great people, they got that. They got that touch. You're supposed to have that finesse, that redefined touch, that experience to where you know how to make things right. Even if you got to be defrauded. Even if what? You got to be what?
Defrauded.
What?
Defrauded.
Defrauded. You taking this away from me. I know I'm right. Taking it away from, I'm giving in to you and I feel that you're wrong. That's defrauded. But okay, listen. When you're defrauded, you're going to self-examine yourself. All right, let me self-examine myself. Let me what?
Self-examine myself.
We feel we right, but we got to do what?
Self-examine myself.
Let me self-examine myself. All right. Because we're being defrauded. You know what I'm saying? You this. Okay, I got to defraud myself to make this right. I'm gonna defraud I gotta do this to make this right. Okay, I gotta do whatever to make this thing right. Find a way to make this thing right. That is showing the greatness about you. All right. Now, let's see. That he might present it to himself. A glorious church. Look at the work that he did. He did that so that they could be right. Glorious, meaning the outcome is the word of the Most High according to the scriptures. That's the outcome. The outcome is they glorious now. We still trying to get the spirit across, scriptures across, and not having any spot or wrinkle. Guys, I tell you, this ain't an overnight sensation. This ain't popcorn. Heat it up. It's ready. And some potatoes is ready. This ain't that. You might have to deal with one another for a period of long continuance to get the spots out, to get the wrinkles out, to get the blemishes or any such thing out, that it should be holy. So you want your sister, you want your brother, you want your wife, you want your husband, you want your son, you want your daughter, you want your mother, you want your father, whomever you wanted to end up being holy, without blemish. That's going to take time. What I just spelled, VJ? Time. The other VJ, Jeremiah VJ.
I'm not those VJ.
You said time.
He said time.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time, guys.
No.
Oh, right. So all this work It's gonna take time. When we be looking to resolve it and see no spot, wrinkle, or blemish while we're standing there. When the spirit come in to where they truly understand, you might not be nowhere around. You definitely ain't gonna see it, and you definitely ain't gonna feel it because you're not them. They gonna feel it, and what they're gonna feel is now more strength. And the first thing they're gonna feel is the comforter, which is the spirit of truth. The spirit of truth will be revealed to them, and they're gonna be able to rightly divide what's right and what's wrong. And then that situation come, then they're gonna play it out, and they're gonna play it out without spot, wrinkle, or any such thing. You ain't nowhere around. Your job was to endure when you was there. You was one of the steps or processes that took them to get to that point and didn't even realize it because you're fussing with them, arguing with them, fighting with them. None of that. See, you failed all day long. None of that. But if you listen to this here and you apply this here, you're going to go straight on through it. If you need to be defrauded, you defrauded. Whatever part that you need to play, you're going to play that part and you're going to keep it moving. And you're trying to help that person. You will be instrumental in helping them, even though they ain't perfect at that time. Perfection is on the way. What I just say?
Perfection is on the way.
That's how you got to look at one another like. Come on, guys, wake up. You got to look. Tell me the stuff that we don't be going through. You're not face to face with these situations. We could talk about the slavery. That ain't gonna help you through a mental crisis. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about dates. That definitely ain't gonna help you. Them people don't live their lives. What part do we need to be going through? The stuff right here in the right now. And even though we've said it before, the situation keep repeating itself, coming back again and again. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. It keeps coming back again and again and again and again and again and again. Moses ain't teach nothing different for 40 years. All right. Let's see. So you got to compare this to St. John chapter 15 when he's talking about loving one another like Christ loved the church. Don't go back there yet. You need to love your people. All right. So we still in Ephesians chapter 5 and 28. So it says, so are men to love their wives as their own bodies. That's equivalent to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Wake up. You know how much a man loves his woman? He loves her. He cares about her. He's protective. He's possessive. And you're not possessive and protective, in a feminine way, but you're supposed to be caring to the point to where you're compassionate enough not to want to be at odds through hatred, with a brother, with your brother, with nobody, no saint. I'm going to point it to you, then we're going to go back. Imagine this. A man and his woman fighting. When men and women fight, they say some harmful things. They can say some harmful things. They can do some harmful stuff. You ever see, well, which barbershop was that where the woman was outside the barbershop busting all the windows out? Come on, ain't this busted brown car? The guy come out, he's like, no, that's my car. Right? So that sister was so mad. Y'all know the movie, right? She was so mad, she was busting the guy's car up. Later that night, they were affectionate. You shouldn't have did that. You tore my car up. Well, you had that being and look, talking to you. It's like, that's my cousin. So anyway, point is, they do some they do some bugged out stuff. She tore the car up. I've seen sisters with hurt arms, strangulation necks on the neck, like black eyes. They go sleep right next to each other. Hair pulled out. Sisters, you don't love getting your hair pulled out, but you'll get the hair pulled out. Guys, abusive, they're crazy, right? They'll do all that to you. You guys will do all that to each other and love on each other later. But the brother offends you, right? Okay. So if you guys, missing this about 40 minutes into it, go back and hear it again. If you have a problem processing this right here, second time was charm. You hear it again, you're gonna be like, okay, I see what he's saying. All right. Now, 2 Corinthians 13:5, it says, examine yourself. So why is Nas is telling you to examine yourself? Okay. Now, truth be told, this is not talking to, let's say you got the Most High in Christ, then you got us that's supposed to be speakers and teachers. Today, I'm calling us witnesses. We're going to give witness for the testimony of the Christ about what's right and what's wrong, right? And then you got the person that you're supposed to be talking to. This ain't talking to the person that you're supposed to be talking to. This is talking to us. It says, examine yourself, whether you be in the faith. Why? Because we do diminish. When you're going through certain things, you will change. And you'll be changing while you're going through that and straight thinking that you're sitting on perfect. Like this shit don't stink. Bro, it does stink and you ain't perfect and you getting it wrong. Plain and simple. Okay? And if you're not careful, you're going to destroy the person that you're witnessing to, the person that you're setting an example to, the person that you're trying to deal with. You could be doing major damage to that person, especially if you are a person that don't have compassion. You got to be careful with this, man. You can't just live and deal any way you want to. Like, this person ain't important. Like, this ain't a son of God. This ain't a daughter of God. These people are not children of God. We can't live like that. Like, oh, I'm special, and I'm the only person that I care about me and the Most High, We're foolishly psyching ourselves up, hardening ourselves not to think about the people or persons that supposed to mean more than us. The scriptures say, let us esteem others better than ourselves. We ain't even thought about that. You see? 100. You're not 100, man. You need to examine yourself whether you in the faith. Prove your own selves. Meaning, think about what you're doing and see where you at. Like you check that battery. You check that phone battery on 87. You're like, it was just on 100. 76, it was just on 100. It's dropping. In your mind, you're like, okay, I'm still in the safe place, but it sure did drop. It's not 100%, right? Okay, then. Then it says, know you not your own selves. I mean, don't you know how you're supposed to be? How that Christ is in you? Except you be reprobate. But I trust that you know that ye shall not. But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. Now I pray to God that ye do no evil. You see, so this ain't talking to the people that you're talking to. This is talking to us. Not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, meaning deal right. Okay? Though we be as reprobates. Sometimes the people that we talk to look at us like we're rejected. Look at us that we're wrong. Let's see. For we are glad when we are weak. Verse 8, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Our point, verse 9, for we are glad when we are weak. This week is not the week that you fail, okay? This week is, when the last time you guys, when you've been exercising or did something? Exercise or did something, or you were at work and you did a task. You finished it, you completed, at the end of it, you was exhausted. And you felt good about completing whatever it is that you set forth to do, right? You left the gym, you finished work, you weren't like you were refreshed when you first started. But at the end of it, you were glad, right? That's what this is. You go through a situation that's trying. It wars with you. You put your energy into it. But for the most part, you didn't fail, but you went through it. And you end up weaker than you were than when you started. You could have started the situation happy. But now you're in a totally different mood or mindset. You didn't fail, but now it's called weak. All right. And what happened? It says, and you are strong. Now you were able to help somebody else understand what they be doing wrong or what they did wrong. Now they got the understanding off of it. But it took for you to go through what you went through to display it to them. That's the weakness and that's the strong. And this also we wish. Look at the end result. What does it say on 3:1, 2, and 3?
Your perfection.
That's what we wish, guys. So at the end of it, your hope is for the person to be better. That's the mindset that we're supposed to have. And they just took us through hell and high water to get there. Who don't understand this? Okay, it's good. Now go back to John 15. Go ahead.
Real quick, and that's to answer your question. When does strength come? When you have the ability to help somebody see their perfection without it affecting you and without you taking it personal, because it's about who? Them. When you can go through a situation and it's completely and solely about the other person, and it has nothing to do with how they making you feel while you're weak, while it's wearing on you, all of those things, none of that matters. When you can take you completely out of the situation and you can solely make it about them, that's when you're strong. That's when you get stronger. But in the process, like was said, you weak, you feeling this, they're making you feel all that. That's you still growing. But over time, when you continue, like you say, you in a situation, you didn't go off, but you still feel some kind of way about who? Yourself, them, and how what? They making you feel on how you're trying to help them. Why don't they see it? Why don't they get it? How many times I gotta say it? You know what I'm saying? All of that is how you feel. When that is gone and it's completely zeroed in on their growth, their understanding, like Romans 15. Because remember who we dealing with. We're trying to be like who? Christ. And how did Christ feel about the people? He gave himself forward, and his job was to what? Ephesians 5. Presenting them without spot, without wrinkle, right? And how did he do it? The same way that he loved his own flesh. So who's offended while they working out? Nobody. When we taking care of ourselves, that's a joy. We call it what? Self-care. On your self-care day, that's probably the best day of the week, right? So then the same way that you feel like that self-care day is the best day of the week, that same feeling is how you're supposed to feel while you're helping somebody else. When you can feel like that while getting somebody else to perfection, that's when you grow. That's when you grow. That's when the strength came. But in the process, you get into that. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, you didn't fail. You're still doing good. You didn't go out, but the one part that we growing in Christ is working out how we feel in the midst of that. You know what I'm saying?
And to add to it, you find, I ain't gonna say glory, but like you find joy in getting them across the finish line.
Right.
So understanding that, like he said earlier, the spirit is in you. You know, it worked on you, and now you find joy in getting them across the finish line. And the fact that I got through the hard times before, I trust that I can get through it again with another person.
Right. Yeah. So it's a joy to you. That's a good point. So instead of you being grieved by the situation, it's a joy. I was happy to do this. It wasn't a problem. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. So so those are two versions. You're going to deal with a version that's difficult. It might be something personal. It might be something to where you're dealing with a situation that's repetitive. You know how Christ said 70 times 70, right? And then you might deal with a situation to where that it's strictly educational and you are preferred by the person. They come smiling for the correction. They want you to talk to them. That's easy, right there. They respect you. Like, oh, okay, you said this. Oh, okay. But then you got somebody else that's disrespectful with it. Act like they nonchalant. Act like they ain't really listening to you. And so those are different circumstances. So, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to give a real life testimony about exactly what we're speaking about, because I believe it helps when we have, one another share those experiences so people can see it in the flesh with one another. Like, as the brothers, we outside at camp, and I told them, look, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to eat. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had just talked to my rib and told her, hey, I'm about to be on my way home and everything. And so she was like, okay, cool. I got the fruit done, washed off and everything. Okay, cool. So I get to the house and, she greet me when I open the door. I hear the TV on, but I'm like, where my food at? You know what I'm saying? And as I'm looking, I'm like, I'm sitting here hungry. Like, so I'm like, where my food at? But I didn't say that to her. And like what Shem said.
She on live, don't you?
Right.
Nah, I don't know. I'm just messing with you.
On myself, but that's okay.
Nah, I don't know, brother.
Look, that's okay. That's okay. Because when Shem said something earlier, he said, if you can't control yourself, don't say nothing, right? And so in the midst of that, I'm having all these thoughts I'm keeping in my mind because, counsel is always telling us to keep in your mind. Don't allow things to be spoken with your lips. Keep it up here in your mind. So, I'm got these little thoughts going on with my mom, like, shit, you watching TV and my food ain't ready. So then, I could have type of stuff to ruin her, her energy or whatever. But instead I kept it up here and I didn't say nothing. And then I went ahead and I started to make my own sandwich and started to do my own stuff, right? I ate my food. And then, see, Satan was up here like, shit, you wasn't worried about eating, so I ain't about to make you none. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what? So then I get up after I was done, I make her platter. You feel me? And then I bring it to her. And instant reward. I'm talking about instant reward. I was like, oh, let me go get your, because she had already prepared certain things like the guacamole. She had prepared that, had that in the refrigerator, washed off the fruit, had that in the refrigerator. It was just certain things that wasn't complete, which I believe she had time to do. But instead she was patiently waiting or whatever, right? So when I said, let me go get your guard. She was like, no. Sit down here. Let me give you the fruit that and stuff like that. So I'm just sharing that because it's like, yo, that moment I could have blew up. This little thing could have went, boom. And people don't understand that it's the little stuff that could go boom and destroy the whole household. You know what I'm saying? So to what we bringing out right now, it's like, yo, I literally went through that, and I was proud of myself because I would have never got the reward if I would have did anything different. If I would have said something, if my lips would have said anything different, it would have been chaos. It would have been hell to pay. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High, the teachings, the counsel that I took, the advice that I took, I did that, and it was a reward with me. So that's it.
Oh, praise it, man. I'm glad it worked out for you. That's good. So let's go back to John 15. So John 15 and we read 12. This is my commandment that you love one another as I loved you. So we went through all of that to show how Christ had loved Israel. All right. Yeah, the Ephesians and stuff like that. And he compared the love and what he did for us to the way that a man loves his wife. Right. Verse 13 now. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. So the behavior on how you would react, how you would respond, what you used to going through, what you feel is acceptable, you have to learn to deaden that. Brothers living in houses together, sisters living in houses together. If you have a statute or a standard that you set and you won't change that, that's not this here. That's not this here. That's you. You're supposed to lay that down to make a brother convenient, to make a sister convenient. That ain't nobody walking or stepping. That's conforming and becoming a part in the body. You see how that your body parts is just snug as the bug, right nestled on your side, your arm right hooked right up there. It don't look like it's somebody else's arm. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like it's an arm from another nation or nothing. That don't go right with your flesh in unity. That's how our adaptation game's supposed to be when it comes to laying down for the brother, for the sister. And who's looking at all of this? God Almighty is looking at this, man. Let us move on. Henceforth, let's see. Verse 14, you are my friends if you do what I command, whatsoever I command you. So far, he told us to have love for us. Love for one another. And he say, I mess with you. Right? I mess with you if you do that. Hey, if you somebody that has been dealing not right, did somebody beat, call, or text Obadiah? Tell him come even if he's late. Oh, that's right. He's at work. Okay. Never mind. Hey, if you're not doing this and you're doing everything else, maybe this could be what's hindering you from feeling how you want to feel. You want to feel the presence of God. You want to feel the blessings of the Most High. You want to feel blessed and favored so that because you hear about other people talk about I think about some of the stuff I be going through, and this stuff be miraculous. I don't even know if you understand it. You know, that I'm no different from you. You know, I feel that things happen for me because it happens. But I also have other stuff that happen too. Chastisements of the Lord, just like you. So we're one and all the same. But when it comes to um, witnessing certain, you know, blessings or certain things that come from the Most High, if you can't acknowledge your blessings with the storm, I'll have to tell this 10 years from now, God willing, if I get that, whatever, I'll have to tell this maybe at a campfire or something like this. How the Most High spared us, you know, but I can't do it now. That's the reason why I just can't do it. This is very, very touchy. And Christ is looking at us, the Most High is looking at us pertaining to how we embrace one another. What's up, Bert? How we embrace one another. He looks at that. Our spirit of being hospitality, unity, says let brotherly love continue. We can't just love in word, but not deed. We really have got to put our spirit into it, guys. All right. So henceforth I call you not servants. You know how we treat a servant? Just do what I say and stay on the outside of me. We're not personal with a servant. For the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. Right. And we might say, well, how is that so? Because it's not, you know, you don't let them into your personal, you just let them hustle for you. Just let them do what they do, and then that's it. But I have called you friends, for all things have I heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. It's more, a lot more. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained that ye should go and bring forth fruit. So this is the part about the precept, these precepts concerning witnesses, that a job, a profession, a calling that we is ordained and chosen and called to do. It says to bring forth fruit. Every now and then, the Lord be speaking and saying certain things about this. Where is your fruit? I want you to ask yourself, and don't give yourself an excuse, and don't think, oh, look at my fruit. Ask yourself, where's my fruit? In your spirit, in your mind, where's my fruit? Are you instrumental in bringing forth fruit? Remember that message I put in the group? Invite somebody, invite somebody, invite somebody, invite somebody, invite somebody. That's bringing forth fruit. All right. And then it says, and that your fruit should remain. In order for that fruit to remain, what has got to happen? You supposed to deal with them. You supposed to sanctify. What did it say in Ecclesiasticus 4? That you supposed to sanctify and cleanse it. Do we all understand that? So give me this in other words, Corin.
So
about the fruit.
you should bring forward action to bring that person in,
Mm-hmm.
and
your fruit should remain. And we linked it up with Ephesians 5. I ain't trying to cheat and give them the answers. I'm trying to help them. This is all open book. Go ahead, Corey.
teach them to teach them the knowledge that they need to be able to build upon that.
Okay, that's correct. It was something else. It's a powerful word. I was hoping that you would get in there too, but that's right. Anybody want to add to what he's saying? He says right, but you might want to strengthen it. Javon? It's not your question. You just gotta listen. When you listen, it's just regurgitating what was just said. So that now we have what's in our mind. You say, okay, this is the projected goal. Oftentimes we will tell one another at all. So it's kind of tough.
When you told him to link it up with Ephesians, was it Ephesians 5:27 that he might present it to himself a glorious church?
Well, it's in the 16th verse of John 15:16. I'll read it. That your fruit should remain. So when you bring forth fruit, you want to make sure that your fruit stay. So your cleansing and sanctification should be to the point to where they grow. Yeah, they grow. And not only do they grow, but they stay. They sticks with them, with what you taught them. And if for some reason, they're terminated, it's not because you lacked. You gave them the necessary tools. You gave them the fellowship of the Spirit. You did everything humanly possible. But they just got to work it out. Hey, guys, it's people that come, that's been here, and, they for some reason, like the course washed them away, and then the waves washed them back in. And they didn't get treated no differently, but this is what you need to do. They understood. So you've got to do everything that you possibly can. A lot of times you tell people this is the address or this is the page that the classes be on, and you do nothing past that.